Okay, second question I'm answering today. So this question is about hair and gray hair and how to work with that. So there are a lot of things to say about hair. The first one is that most women give up their power with their hairstylist. And I want to make that clear. Second thing, in hair, just as in color, there's cool, neutral, and warm. And so when you are, for instance, a summer or a winter specifically, you're pretty much going to be neutral to cool. And so when somebody's doing your hair, they need to be aware of that. When you're a spring or an autumn, you're going to tend toward neutral or warm, depending on what you are, what your palette is, and all sorts of stuff, because even as a spring who tends to be, warmer than somebody who's a summer, they can still be neutral. So you want to think about that. If, for instance, you are somebody who is an autumn, you could do, I think this person asked me, could she do some, not red highlights, but auburn and stuff like that. You could probably do that. I'm not somebody who obviously is against hair color. So let me just say a couple of things. This is my actual white. It's the only, I've had this streak since I was like, I don't know, in my 20s. I don't really have gray hair. I have a few, a little bit of gray, but it wouldn't be very pretty by itself. But this white streak is kind of awesome. And during COVID, when I couldn't get my hair cut or colored, I remembered it because it came out. So you want to make sure that if you are a warm-toned person, that the way they do your color is neutral to warm. And so if it's auburn or if it's brown or whatever, you want to make sure that it goes on that scale. If you are a summer or a winter and you're doing color, then you want to make sure that it is neutral to cool. The other thing I want to say is, so for instance, for somebody who's in autumn, I've done color on people and then they went to their hairstylist and the woman is in autumn. So she's got warm coloring. And so she, with an autumn, they should have like layers and asymmetry and, all sorts of, fun things that an autumn can do because they have angles in their face and all that kind of stuff. And the hairstylist said, let's soften you up. The very worst thing you could do for an autumn. So keep that in mind. This is a short video, but keep that in mind. Cool, neutral, warm, and make sure that your hairstylist knows that and knows what your skin tone is, because that's what determines everything. I often say when I'm doing palettes, it can look like, a color palette. It's like it's color, but the truth is the science, what makes doing a color palette science is skin tone followed by hair and eyes. But skin tone is what sets your color harmony. And so it's really important that your hair reflect what will make your face look beautiful. Thanks. I love this question. Bye-bye.